Amidst the tranquil allure of nature's embrace, a perfect day unveils itself for an exhilarating foraging expedition. The melodious symphony of birdsong echoes in the vast expanse of the sky, while a gentle breeze caresses the lush foliage enveloping your surroundings. Engrossed in collecting your beloved mushrooms, their flavors at their peak during this bountiful season, an unexpected disturbance shatters the serenity. A resounding boom reverberates behind you, reminiscent of thunderclaps, accompanied by a fleeting glimpse of something mysterious, momentarily caught in your peripheral vision. Perplexingly, there isn't a single cloud adorning the otherwise pristine sky. Compelled by curiosity, you embark on a quest to unravel the enigma. Your exploratory journey leads you to the source of the disturbance, a diminutive round pigeon, convulsing amidst a pile of feathers and bark. It appears as though it dislodged from a neighboring tree that had careened into with a mighty crash. Tenderly, you gather the injured creature in your hands, and within a matter of minutes it shows signs of recovery. However, an odd sensation lingers within you as you discern a faint rumbling emanating from the pigeon's tiny belly, a plaintive plea for sustenance. Here we are set up for the scenario 3 time story of Wild Gardens, the solo scenarios. So we start with Gigi out here. This is different than the other two that I have done. Those will be linked in a playlist down below and right up here, where you can see how the game plays, and as I said, those other two scenarios. So the other two scenarios had something called Extended Trip, where you just basically stayed at the same location for both days. This one, we are going to flip over a new location card on day 2, which is after 3 trips, which if you aren't sure what that all means, then hopefully you will go and watch that how to play. But if not, let me give you a quick rundown. On my turn, which is always my turn because it's solo, I'm going to move my forager. I'm going to move my forager somewhere between 1 and 4 spaces. That is determined by which action token I choose and on what I put it on, because that determines what I'm going to do. So if I put the 2 here, I would move 2 spaces, and then I'm going to forage twice, which means take ingredients that are around that board. So I'm foraging for all those things to make these recipes. These recipes I'm going to use to fulfill here. So Gigi wants anything, and when served, gain 3 tree bark stuff. I have all my resources over here because this is a massive sprawling game, so I didn't really have enough camera space for everything. So what's going to happen is, first thing as the day, we're going to play over 3 days beginning of each day, 3 days in a trip, 2 trips in a game. First thing, we're going to look at Hot Springs, North Carolina. At the beginning of each day, in player order, you either gain a point or lose a point to gain a rest bonus effect without placing an action token. So, seeing as I have no points, the first thing I'm going to do is get a point. When you gain a point, you're going to be moving your little bee pollinator point tracker. Some things like this here will have you move your mason jar, and those you basically count up the number of jars on the cards. So, knowing I need to get Gigi here, and looking at the recipes I have, the watermint sorbet or the tea berry ice cream will probably be my best bets. Or maybe even the stinging spanakopita. So that's going to be 3 points, 4 points, 3 points. Probably go for one of these two. Looking nearby, I'm near the leaf. I'm not really near any of the seaweed. So the leaf is there. Onion thing, the root vegetables are up there. So yeah, then I'm going to go for the spanakopita. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to move 2. So we're going to take our 2 action token, put it on here, which is going to allow my person to move 2. And now I can forage in the adjacent areas. If you look at your spot, you'll see it's adjacent to some fields. So I can grab the little acorns, the berries, or the leaves. I am going to grab, and I can do it twice because I have the 2 hands. I am going to grab 2 leaves. Now I do kind of want to start building up some of my actions as well. So looking over here, it's where you can get stuff if you put that somewhere, or foraging. So I know I want to get there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So if I move 1, that opens me up to grabbing the forage action, the seaweed action, or the berry action. So seeing as I see a few things out here with a berry, I think I am going to go 1 on this one. So I'll just move 1. I'm going to look over here. I think I want to grab this berry. So I'm going to be checking out this book, the Book of Fungi. And then I get to put this on any action I want, and it'll trigger when I do that action. I think we're going to build up our forage action for right now. We then draw a new tile out for that spot. At any time, I can have a max of 2 books checked out. This allows me to move 1 more or 1 less when I move. As a free action, I can always pay a matching resource to basically put the book back into the library. That won't be happening yet. So now we are going to do a 3. 1, 2, and 3. We are going to forage. One of our foraging is going to be for the root vegetable. I get a berry because of that, and I can forage one more thing. Kind of looking around. I know I'm about to get some bark here. Let's go ahead and grab... I think I might grab another berry. There is that. For my next action, I want to get to this picnic space to be able to cook. I have a 1 through 4 left. So I could go use the 1 there, but then 1, 2, 3, 4, I would open myself up to where I could then serve as well. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and put this 1 through 4 right here. Only move 1. That is going to allow me to cook. So we are going to cook the stinging spanakopita. So I spend my resources like so. I grab it and I put it down here under my cooked recipes, which you'll hardly see because it's at the bottom. Again, big sprawling game, so I can't really do too much space-wise. And then this will refill immediately. Our final one is we're going to put the 4 down here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, which will now let us serve Gigi. So we are going to take our stinging spanakopita. We are going to discard it to serve Gigi, who will come up here in my tableau area. Oh, I forgot. When I built the stinging spanakopita, I got 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And now that I am serving Gigi, I get 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. And then when served, I gain 1, 2, 3 bark. Alright, so now that I have served Gigi, let's see where this story takes us. As the little pigeon contently feasts on the nourishment you've provided, a sense of relief washes over you. The creature appears fully restored, yet you remain puzzled by the circumstances surrounding its collision with the tree. Could the sudden noise have startled it? To err on the side of caution, you decide to take the bird to a veterinarian for a thorough examination. Before you can set your plan in motion, however, an intriguing figure emerges from the thick foliage, garbed in a striking steampunk attire. With an air of urgency, he demands that you release the pigeon, brandishing a peculiar device that bears a resemblance to a phaser from an otherworldly realm. Perplexed, you cautiously inquire, "Why should I release the bird?" Its tiny form shudders in your protective embrace. "That creature in your possession," he proclaims with a sense of urgency, "is a paradox pigeon, one of the most dangerous beings in existence. Its presence here can only signify one thing, an aberration within this timeline, and we..." His words abruptly halt as he collapses to the ground, a luminous glow emanating from his prone body. Moved by compassion, you hasten to his side, offering assistance. He groans, his voice strained. "Food," he manages to utter. "I beseech you, anything edible will suffice. Space caviar, 4-dimensional lobster, or whatever sustenance you can procure. With haste." Without pausing to contemplate the bewildering turn of events, you spring into action, scouring your surroundings for any available nourishment, determined to provide aid to the enigmatic stranger in need. Alright, so now we have Dominik in our line. We need to serve Dominik. Dominik wants one of these blue entree looking ones. Right now the cattail pollen pasta is the only one I have out there. And then one of anything so I can go anywhere. So I already have my berry. I need basically a root vegetable and 3 seaweed. I also can always, as a free action, turn 3 matching ingredients to an ingredient of my choice if it comes to that. Probably show, now I want that seaweed one, darn it. Alright, so I now have to take the rest action because all my action tokens are out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these action tokens, put it up here on day 1, and then depending on what number it is, determines what I can trigger up here. So on this one I can spend a berry and a root vegetable to move my jar. That won't really matter. I only have 1, plus I don't have the root vegetable. I'd be wanting to save that for my thing anyways. If I put a 2 here, I can forage and then cook even if I'm not at a campsite. A 3 will give me 2 of the root vegetables, and 4 is I would spend a point to be able to take one of these tokens out here. I think we're going to start with putting our 3 up here, because I want to get those 2 vegetables, like so. So now we go back to at the beginning of the day. So these all get refreshed right here. And then we activate the beginning of the day. I think I am going to do this to lose a point to activate one of these, which I'm going to activate this one, which is lose a point to grab a skill token. I think I am now going to grab this seaweed and kind of look into where I'm at. Seaweed's all the way up there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 away, so it's going to be a while till I get a seaweed. You know, I think we're going to put this one in our forage and really kind of build up the extra stuff we can get with the forage action. And I don't have to check out a book when I trigger it that way. So we put out another one. We got another one of our movements. So that's kind of, you got foraging and boots and such. Alrighty, so couple of options. So you've seen forage, you've seen the cook and serve. You've seen part of this one with the study. The other option is I can go there, I can reserve a recipe, and gain 2 points for it. That is really mainly useful in the multiplayer game, so no one takes your recipe, or at the end of the first trip, this all gets wiped. So if there's something I want to make sure I reserve, or I want to be able to fulfill someone, I will want to make sure I reserve that before these all go away. But that's not really a concern right now. I have my 2 things here. I need to get seaweed. I need to look at what else I want to try and make that is out here. And then maybe grabbing stuff for that. So we'll set those aside because I know I already have those used for something. I can easily get some berries and leaves. So if I only move 1, I'll get a berry. And then I can grab a leaf and I'm ready for the tea berry ice cream. So we'll go 1. And we'll move here. So we get a berry and we get a seaweed. We then can do 2 forage actions. So I'm going to grab a leaf, and then that wants 3 berries. So I will grab my 3rd berry from there. So I'm now able to make the tea berry ice cream. So I could move the 1, 2, 3 to be able to make the tea berry ice cream. And then I can move 2 to forage and have enough of that. And then I can do the 4 to either serve or to then cook the other one, because I need both things before I can serve him. So we said we're going to do 3 forage, right? No, 3 to make. So we're going to go there. 1, 2, 3. Like so. We're going to spend our stuff to make the tea berry ice cream. Comes down here into our completed recipes, and I get 3 points, like so. We are then going to put our 2 into our forage. 1, 2. That gets us our berry and our little seaweed. We can then forage twice. So I do know one of the foraging needs to be the seaweed. Oh, I forgot to replenish that. There we go. Oh, we actually had a new one come out, but I've been focused on the cattail, so we're going to do that. So for my last one that I'm going to grab, is there something I'm close to? I know I can get berries. I know I can get seaweed, so let me grab another leaf just to be on the safe side. And then finally we'll play 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll turn in all of our ingredients here. Doop and doop. To get the cattail pollen pasta. That gets flipped over like so. And that is it. I will now rest again for day 2. Knowing that next one I am more than likely going to just use my 2 to serve him. So if I use... Oh, actually I can do my... No, that's a cook. I don't really want to cook anything right now because I don't know what my next card is going to entail. Plus, I don't have enough stuff to do this. So, it's really up to those options. So we'll do our 4. We'll lose a point to grab another one of these. Let's go ahead and grab the forage. And we're going to put that over here and start kind of building up that one, since it's another one that we're going to be doing a lot. And then we refill these tokens. So that token means I would get the active ingredient, basically the one on the back of that card. Alright, so that is the rest. Oh, I don't know why I put it there. It actually goes here to day 2. At the beginning of the turn, I can gain a point or lose a point to gain a rest benefit. You know what? I'm going to lose 1 and 1 to do that one again. I do like building these up. So let's go ahead and get that right on there. Like so. And refill. Alright, so that one is if you are adjacent to a mushroom, you gain 2 mushrooms. So we know we want to do a 2 on the serve. We go 1, we go 2. We are going to serve Dominik. Here are our 2 recipes that we are serving him. And then Dominik comes over here, which gives us 6 points. Like so. And then his special ability is I can discard him to discard 2 skill tokens on my player board. If I do, I can select 2 from the library and place them on your player board. So I can basically swap 2 of these out with those if I choose to discard him. As you serve the stranger a plate of nourishment, the peculiar luminescence gradually subsides. "Thank you," he utters, a hint of apology coloring his words. With a composed demeanor, he begins to explain his initial confrontation. "You see, I have been in search of someone who has caused a disturbance in this compromised timeline," he clarifies, his tone softened. "I had mistaken you for the culprit, but now I see my error. You seem intimately acquainted with this timeline, and your remarkable foraging skills have left an indelible impression on me. Dare I say, that was one of the most extraordinary meals I have experienced in a century." Though his appearance belies his claimed age, seemingly no more than 30, an inexplicable trust begins to take root within you. The stranger introduces himself as Dominik, the Time Master, and reveals his mission to repair his time-traveling device, a necessary step in locating the person responsible for the timeline's instability. Though a sense of skepticism tugs at your thoughts, you contemplate the gravity of the situation. If Dominik speaks the truth, aiding him could hold the key to preserving your very existence. Determined, you resolve to assist him in repairing his device and decide to escort him to the most reputable repair shop you know, Miss Ruby Mae's Miraculous Repairs. If anyone possesses the expertise to restore Dominik's time-traveling device, it is undoubtedly Miss Ruby Mae. Along the journey, you decide to bring her a selection of delectable treats, hoping to soften the impact of the astonishing revelation about Dominik's true nature as a Time Master. Alright, so here we are with Miss Ruby Mae. She wants a dessert and anything. We have 1 dessert out there, a watermint sorbet. I need 2 seaweed in order to get that. I am, again, 1, 2, 3. I'm 4 away from there, so I can actually get that seaweed sorbet's ingredients. I just won't be able to serve her on this trip because I'd need something else as well. But I may focus on that and then see what flops out in the new trip, and then maybe go for one of those and just focus on getting this watermint sorbet before it leaves. So is that feasible? I can go 1, 2, so it's 4 to get to there. And I need 2. I could do those, because the problem's going to be is I need to be somewhere in order to cook it. Unless, of course, I use my 2, but I really want to get a skill token because she's going to give me points for skill tokens. So it was what? I basically just needed the seaweed, right? So, I have the forage on there, so I could just move 1 here with the foraging. They give me the 1 seaweed, grab other stuff, and then move 1, 2, 3, which will let me forage that, get me a bark, and then I'd be able to make it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll do 1 on our foraging. Although let me just make sure I don't want to grab one of those tokens up there. You know what, actually, oh, but I wouldn't get the seaweed. But I have the bark. You know what, we're going to study. I want to get more studying done. So we are going to move 1. We are going to study with the berry, because I want the mushroom one, and we are going to put the mushroom one on our foraging. Then we have 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put our 1 to 4 right here, move 1, 2, 3. I can forage, so I'm going to grab the seaweed. I get a bark. I am then going to use my free action to turn 3 bark into a seaweed. I will then prepare a meal with 2 seaweed and a berry to make the water mint sorbet. Put that down here under my cooked recipes. And that gives me 4 more points, so we are at 15. This gets refilled. And we have 1 more rest action, and then we end the trip. So I think I am going to be doing my 1 to 4 up here, which is going to let me... Oh, I never refilled that spot. I need to refill it like so, and that gets a forage icon. So I am going to lose a point, and I actually want to grab, I think, this movement one and put it in the serving and cooking one, because a lot of times I'm always off by 1, just kind of the way the numbers line up and stuff. Like you'll see this is an even amount from here, or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you start going an odd amount here. So instead of having to divert, I want to have that flexibility. So I know I'm going to need to feed her next, or serve her. It's going to need 1 of anything, but we are at the end of a trip. So let me go over quickly this quick reminder so I can tell you what happens at the end of the trip. Is we are going to re-randomize all these source tokens on the board. We are going to refresh the recipes. We would typically refresh the guest if we weren't doing a solo mode, but she's going to stay out there. We are going to return all of our action tokens to our board. We are going to flip the top card of the location deck. And then we are actually going to return our books randomly here, and we are going to refresh these tokens, which I'll put 1 out there, but those are also going to get refreshed as well. So let me go ahead and do all that, and we'll be right back. All right, we are all refreshed. So we are going to, as typical, start at the beginning of each day in player order. So I can forage twice or gain a bark, a leaf, and an acorn. So kind of looking out here to see what we have gotten out and what we have. We don't really have much. We don't have much. But we could get the sea lettuce granola. So if I forage twice, I can get that, which will immediately let us make that and then fulfill her basically in 2 turns. So I think that's what we are going to do. We are going to forage twice and grab 2 of the seaweed. Now, for my first thing, we are going to move 2. We move 1, we move 2. So I get a bark. I technically could have moved forward or back 1. I can forage from where I am at. So now that I know I got this bark, we could start doing the strawberry jam. So we are going to grab a berry. We are going to cook, what was I cooking? The sea lettuce granola. That cost me 2 of these and gives me 3 points. So she's actually gained 2 desserts. And then we refill. Just so you know, you can do all this in any order, so I technically could have cooked first to flip that over if I didn't want the bark or whatever, if I want the honey or if I want the mushrooms instead. I just did it in that order. Alrighty, so now looking ahead. So we got that. We know we're going to serve. Is there somewhere I want to forage, seeing as I know I'm about to forage, to be able to get something? So the strawberry jam is there or there. 1, 2, 3. So I'm at 4 or I'm at 3. If I'm at 3, I come in this way. I could go out and around. I think we're going to go ahead and I think I'm going to want to be doing that strawberry jam. So we are. We are going to do, what I say, 3 in the serve. So we move 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to forage a berry. I am going to get a mushroom. I could have moved. I did not. I am now going to serve Miss Ruby Mae the sea lettuce granola and the watermint sorbet. So I've now served her. We'll get to her story in a second, but at the game end, I'm going to gain a point for each of the skill tokens and an additional 7 if I have 8. So I can get 2 more skill tokens. That'll be an additional 7 points. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But let's listen to what Miss Ruby Mae has to say. A time what? Miss Ruby Mae gasped, nearly spilling the food you served her, as Dominik smiles nervously. She grabs your arm, pulling you aside urgently. Honey, I've seen my fair share of odd folks, but a time master? She exclaims incredulously. I can't fix this man's trouble with a wrench. He needs a doctor, not a mechanic. You assure Ruby that, despite its unorthodox nature, you trust Dominik's story. After some convincing, she reluctantly agrees to give it a try. Dominik reveals his time device, and though initially bewildered, Ruby musters the courage to tackle the task. Miraculously, the device begins to emit a gentle glow, eliciting shouts of joy from Dominik. I just changed the batteries, Rudy whispers to you as Dominik glances gleefully while cradling the pigeon he had affectionately named Gigi. You owe me big time, Ruby scolds, her faux scowl hiding her amusement as you depart from her shop. Now, onward to find the time culprit, Dominik declares. Forager, join me once more. I need your exceptional skills to help unearth the perpetrator. With his device repaired, Dominik projects a hologram, displaying a vibrant blue mushroom with pink spots. Take a good look at this peculiar specimen, he remarks. It's somehow connected to the person tangled in the wrong timeline. If we can locate it, we will discover their whereabouts. Alright, so there we go. So in case you didn't listen to the story and I didn't go over it, what have you, so we searched the deck for Leilani. We then drew 5 additional random guest cards. We shuffled all of them together, placed them in the form of supply guests, but put them face down and put 2 fungus ingredients on each one. So the guests cannot be served or discarded if they are face down in the supply. Whenever I gain a mushroom or a fungus ingredient token, you may take it from a guest card in the supply instead of the normal token supply. When a guest in the supply no longer has any tokens on it, flip it face up. That guest is now available to serve. If the guest you reveal is Leilani, immediately serve her without paying her cost or needing to be in a picnic zone. So basically it's almost like hide and go seek. I need to grab some of these mushrooms, see if I can flip up where she is. If not, I'll have a guest to serve. So it's a good thing I have this little token that allows me to get lots of mushrooms. So I think what we're going to do is we are probably going to start getting mushrooms. So we are going to start by doing a 1 on forage. We come into here. I am adjacent to a mushroom, so I get 2 mushrooms. Let's go this one. So let's flip them over. It is not Leilani, it is Jade. Jade wants a drink. There's no drinks out there, so there's really nothing I can work towards. I do like this lion's mane cake, and with me getting mushrooms, I'm getting close to that. Well, let me grab my berry and my seaweed really quick just to remind myself there. So I almost have the mushrooms. I need 1 bark. I need a seaweed. I need a lettuce. And I need a berry. So if I forage a mushroom, which I can take from one of these, so let's go ahead and grab this one. So I have all of that, and then, you know what, let's just go ahead and grab another mushroom to reveal one more person. Mr. and Mrs. Winters. Alrighty. So they want one of these and anything. So I can still do the lion's mane cakes, and now I can maybe go for the Kung Pao Lotus or the asparagus casserole. We'll see where I end up at. So I think maybe let's go ahead and move here where I can cook that, and I can actually grab a couple more mushrooms and maybe see if we can get someone else. So we will, oh, my one's there, but we'll do the one right there. So we move here. So I can forage. We are going to grab a mushroom. We can grab the back of it, which is a mushroom. So let's grab more mushrooms. We have found Leilani, so we are going to serve her without having to spend anything. So that puts us up to 22. I can discard her to discard reserved cards to forage 3 times for each card. I'm probably not going to end up doing that. So let's go ahead and read what is up with Leilani.
Stop right there, you criminal! Dominik's triumphant shout rings out, his voice carrying both authority and mystery. You're guilty of committing serious time crimes! Leilani gasps in fear and awe, scrambling deeper into the bushes, her eyes wide with disbelief. You found me! She whimpers with a mix of resignation and surprise. That's right, Dominik declares confidently. Now it's time to face the consequences. He raises his hand, clutching his phaser, which now emits a faint, otherworldly glow. But before he can take action, Gigi swoops down from Dominik's shoulder, swiftly snatching the device and soaring high into the sky. No, my weapon! Dominik exclaims with the pain of betrayal in his voice. Curse you, paradox pigeon! I always knew your kind couldn't be trusted. As doubts cloud your mind about the seriousness of these events, Dominik swiftly composes himself, wearing a mysterious grin. All right, I'll come up with a different plan. Get out of here! Go back to where you belong! He waves his hand in dismissal, urging Leilani away. Shoo! Go on, go! You stand there, a witness to this bewildering scene. Okay, I'll go. I never liked your dumb timeline anyway. Leilani cries as she runs off into the distance, a mix of defiance and resignation in her retreat. That worked! Yes! Dominik exclaims, his excitement echoing through the air. I can feel her presence fading already. This timeline will be just fine, thanks to me. You cough, acknowledging your own part in this mysterious adventure, yet still unsure of the truth beneath the surface. And you, my dear friend, played your role brilliantly. Dominik whispers, his words carrying an air of mystery. But our journey together must come to an end. Dominik puts his hand on your cheek. This isn't my true timeline, and I must leave. He backs away, holding up his time-traveling device as he gestures toward an uncertain future. Goodbye, my friend. Maybe we'll meet again in another time. With a resounding crack that fills the air, smoke billows around you both, momentarily blocking your vision. Through the dissipating haze, you believe you catch a final glimpse of Dominik's silhouette running off into the distance. Once the smoke clears, Dominik is gone, leaving behind a sense of wonder and a tapestry of unanswered questions.
Alright, so there we go. We have discarded all of our fungus tokens. It is now time to play it basically normal. I was in the middle of doing my action, so I had foraged, I had grabbed the mushroom. I am now going to prepare. So we spend 1, 2, 3, 4 mushrooms, or fungus, a bark, a seaweed, a lettuce leaf, and a berry. And that is so we can now have the lion's mane cakes, which gives us 6 points, moves us down to 28, brings up a new recipe. Here is the time now where we can start looking down here to see if there's someone that we want to do. So we now have a salad, so we'll see if there's someone who specifically wants a salad. Mary and Maisel does. They can take anything. Mary and Maisel, when served, discard 1 recipe card in the supply. Gain all of the ingredients listed in that card's cost. That seems pretty nice because I can always do that on like the Kung Pao and get a bunch of stuff. So I think maybe I'm going to start going for them. I have one left. So do I start getting those ingredients? Do I have something for just anything out there? I'm near that. I'm near the asparagus casserole. I need a couple more berries and a bark for that. A couple of barks for that. But I think my first one I'm going to do is I'm going to get a study token to build up for the end game points for Miss Ruby Mae. So looking around up here, there's another forge token. Although I'm probably not going to be doing this one anymore, or I'll do it once more. So let's go. Let's go and do the forge one so it doesn't feel like a waste. So I need to be by mushrooms or the acorn. I have the 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Neither one gets me there. So what do I get by instead? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get that one. I can get that one, or I can get that one. Or if I go up here, it's still that one, and it's still that one, and it's still that one. Yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll grab this one, which can still get me a good when I go there. Alrighty, so that is the end of that day. So I was looking at a couple of these, like the asparagus casserole. So I think I may put my 4 up here. What this little heart symbol is you trigger the when served ability of a card, which will get me 3 from Gigi. So we'll put my 4 up here, which is going to give us the 3 bark, like so. And we have those now. So now we go to the beginning of the day. So I can forage twice or get those 3 goods. So like I said, I know I'm going for this one, which needs a mushroom. None of them are up there. But I could grab 2 of these so I can turn... Yeah, I'm going to grab 2 of those because I can turn those 3 into a mushroom. These come up. So let's go and serve. So we need a 2. Or I could do 4 and just forage the mushroom and not have to spend those. Yeah, we will. We'll put my 1 through 4 here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I could do my 3 because I can move 1 more. You know, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put our 3 here because of the extra movement. So I can go 1, 2, 3. My extra movement's there. I will forage the mushroom. I will grab the back of this card. I will now cook 1, 2, 3, and 4 mushrooms and 4 barks to do the asparagus casserole, which gives me 7 points. Brings me to 35. So I realized I had some camera problems there and you missed a bit. So I moved around. I made the 1 dish. I then moved and got the rest of the ingredients I needed and what have you. And I ended up serving Mary and Maisel. I then discarded the Kung Pao Lotus to get all the ingredients. That's why you'll see I have so much over here. And we are now going to move to their story. So let's get on with that, and then we will get back to the gameplay.
Your guests can't stop gushing over the delectable creation you've prepared, showering you with compliments that make you both grateful and a little bashful. As you engage in conversation, they excitedly share a recent experience. They tell you about an episode of their favorite time travel television show, where the characters explore the wonders of foraging in the past. They describe the enchanting scenes of people gathering wild ingredients from lush forests and uncovering forgotten culinary treasures. They thank you for sharing your talents and teaching them that the art of foraging is not just something that is for people in history, but something they can engage with and practice far into the future.
Alright, so I don't know if I want to really push to get the jars much. I mean, I haven't done anything with the jars, but none of the guests I've served have jars. You'll see the jars here. Basically, the mason jar would move, so if I move this 2, it'd go 1, 2. It does get you more points. I'm kind of thinking I'm fine where I'm at the points. So I want to look more at stuff out here that's going to give me points and maybe end game points or people out here. So looking at that, Mr. and Mrs. Winters is going to give me 3 points for each recipe in my play area at game end. If I can get them soon and then just do some recipes for the last day, that might be feasible. So they want 1 of anything and an entree. The entree is the mushroom ravioli. I am 2 mushrooms short and I am a flour short. So we are going to go here to forage. That moves us just the 1. So I get another berry. I get another seaweed. And then because I'm adjacent to a mushroom, I get 2 mushrooms, so I don't have to worry about foraging those. And I will need a flower, so that will be my 1 forage will be the flower. And then I think I'm going to forage for an acorn, because like this one needs 3 acorns, so that way I can set myself up for that. I will now do the 1 through 4 and see where I want to end myself, because I can forage twice or get those ingredients. So I know I'm set up to get the 2 things for them, this one and this one. I kind of want to maybe be by the bark, so we are going to move 1, 2, 3 with it. I can forage. Let me go ahead and grab a bark, because I don't have any. I get another mushroom on the back of this, like so, and then I can cook. So we are going to cook the mushroom ravioli. It takes a lot of mushrooms, obviously. That is going to be 5 of those mushrooms. 1 of my acorns, although I forgot that needed an acorn, so I will need another acorn for that, so I might just take what's there. And my flour. So I've now done that, so that gives me 4 points like so. And we're just going to stick that under here under my cooked recipes. So that is the end of that day. So I'm going to put something up here, and then I'll have 3 actions left to basically cook one, fulfill them, and maybe get... Oh, I didn't even think all that through. That's all right. I can still possibly use this for Ericson, which will give me 2 points. And I can move to any empty space, because I just realized I'm not going to have enough actions left to really cook much other things. More than likely, especially because I want to study one more time. So putting something up here. So this one I can get a root vegetable and a point if I put my 3. If I put my 2, it's just 2 straight points. My 1 to 4 would trigger that. Or the 1 is I could do move my jar, but only move it 1. So that's not really worth it. So we're going to put up our 2. Our 2, which gives us 2 points like so. All right, start of day effect. We're just going to take the bark, the leaf, and the acorn. So now looking out here, like I said, we have the thing for Ericson. I could also still study, so I can get that. Sure, let's go ahead. I'm not really picky in which one I'm going to get, so we'll just move 1 space. That gets me one of the root vegetables down here. And now I am by the bark, which I already have, so that's not out there. So it's the seaweed and the berry. Let's go ahead and we'll just grab this one with the seaweed. Like so. So my last 2 actions will probably be to cook something and then to serve to more than likely Ericson. Because that would give me 2 points. So probably cook something relatively big. I have almost the stuff I need for that. That's 5 points. I have everything I need for that. That's 5 points. So we'll probably cook the strawberry jam. So we'll go our 3 down here. 1, 2, 3. We get a root vegetable right there. We can forage once. Let me go ahead and grab another berry. We are going to cook the strawberry jam. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 2 bark. We grab the strawberry jam, which gives me 5 more points, down to 51. Like so. So my last action will be to serve. So we're just going to put our the one out here, go 1 and 2. And again, we get a seaweed. We get to grab something. Let's go ahead and just grab a mushroom. And then we are going to serve Ericson. So we will discard our mushroom ravioli. We get Ericson. So I could have discarded him later on to move to an empty space, then forage twice. But instead we are just getting the 2 points from him. Boop-a-dee boop. This goes out there. And before we get into the rest of the game, let's see what Ericson has to say.
Your guest absolutely loves the delicious treat you've prepared for them. After they finish, you take a leisurely walk together, and a mischievous rabbit catches your attention. It leads you to a patch of ground elder plants growing on the trail's edge. Luckily, some of the plants haven't flowered yet, so you can harvest their leaves while they still taste amazing and before they become too pungent in flavor. You collect a handful of leaves, feeling grateful to the little rabbit for guiding you to this edible treasure. It's special moments like these that truly make you thankful for the connection you have with nature when foraging.
Oh man, I'm so sad. Walter just came out. I would have liked to have fulfilled Walter. I want to hear what he has to say. It's a dog with a monocle and a tie. That's so cool. Alright, so that is the last of those. So I will do one last one out to here. So let's go ahead and just put out our 1 to 4 just to gain 2 points. So that is the end. So for end game, we are going to get points for our pollinator and jar tokens are any end game victory points on guest and a victory point for every 4 ingredients. So I have the 1 end game, which is Miss Ruby Mae, which is a point for each one of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 puts me at 63. Woo, flip that over. So we are at 63. And then I do have 8 or more, so that's an additional 7. Then ingredients, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points from ingredients. Puts me at 14, so 74. So what level did we accomplish? Did we accomplish one of them? We did. We achieved the epic achievement. So let's go ahead and get into the end story, and then I will bring you back here for the wrap-up.
As your wild adventure nears its end, a strange thought lingers in your mind. Was any of it even real? Did you truly just play a part in saving your own timeline? The idea tickles your funny bone, and you can't help but giggle. Hey, let's not overthink it, you tell yourself with a shrug, deciding to embrace the mystery rather than unravel it. A couple weeks later, a letter arrives bearing the mark of an unknown sender. Intrigued, you open it to find a heartfelt message nestled within. Dearest Forager, our time together was but a fleeting moment, yet it holds a special place in my heart. Though it saddens me to acknowledge that our paths may never cross again, I am grateful for the moments we shared. Please continue to share your passion for foraging with the world. While it may seem like a modest endeavor to you, I have witnessed through the veils of time how it blossoms into something far greater than you can imagine. Even in our moments of insignificance, it is the threads that connect us, that bind us to our purpose within the vast tapestry of time. Forever your time master, Dominik.
So there is the wrap-up. So that was Scenario 3. We will be moving on to Scenario 4 here soon. Scenario 3 was the last of the casual level of difficulty. We are moving on to advanced difficulty next, so that means they are going to be harder. So looking forward to that. If you want to be alerted to when those go live, you can head down below, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. You can comment. Let me know if one of these recipes looked especially appealing to you. You can share the video so more people can discover wild gardens. You can also, while down there, check out the links to our Patreon and our Ko-fi. It helps support the channel and keep it so that these videos can keep coming. Patreon is a subscription where you can get some maybe behind the scenes. We're going to do some polls and so forth. The Ko-fi is a one-time donation where you can basically buy me a drink and we can toast to my successful foraging in Wild Gardens Scenario 3. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will join me for that future playthrough and all of my other playthroughs, reviews, and unboxings that happen on this channel. So until next time, forage on!